polyethylene pillows, 300-foot long stretches to put these things in place. And we keep getting rumors dispelled. I was told when I first started that would expand and contract to get the loads out of it. That doesn't happen. All they can do is expand it. And it just contracts on its own. It just gets some loads and it starts to contract and expand it back up. And constantly monitor it to make sure that it's not deflating. So that's when you talk about the old Metrodome, you had trouble with deflating because that was a different pillow concept. These are narrower troughs. Those were larger pillow, almost like parachute area is what I'd call it. That's how it collapsed. It collapsed 3 times. The loads were too strong. So basically what you did by 60% of adding this in, this also is about 95% efficient as glass. And it's 1/10 the weight of glass. So basically by doing this, everybody asks about why don't you have a retractable roof? Well, think about the expense of that. And we're a single truss member holding up this roof. Now, how could you have that if you had a retractable roof? You'd have to have one on this side, one on this side to hold this roof up. So there's no way, I mean, the expense of just thinking of just that alone on both sides, that's tremendous. But you went from basically the heaviest roof with the steel concentration glass to the lightest roof. And basically back in 17, we won awards on the design. We basically won the gold LED award for design. And they're really proud of the reservoir. Pump it down and use that heat to build it. And when you talk about cooling, it's a different situation. Basically take the cooling from the basement back up and cool these areas, and then basically heat goes back into the heat reservoir. What time do you guys need to be out of here so I don't get too... obviously, but it also home to many, many concerts and many different events. Somebody mentioned baseball. You take this field, 99,000 square foot field right now, just the turf down there. Walls are new, and the center contour now is actually laid. The actual inlay in there is painted. We don't have to paint it. It used to be we had to go paint this old turf. Now you don't have to do it anymore. That all is inlaid now in purple and white. We don't have to go back and repaint that stuff. That's a big plus for these days. And I heard the goalposts were new too, but not a big deal. So now you talk about baseball. Get baseball in here. Now the only time we put baseball in here is when we get the college teams in here. So basically right over there about the 20-yard line is home plate. And then you take these 6,000 seats over here. In 8 minutes, we can retract those into the wall with hydraulics. And now you've got another 33,000 square foot of turf. And that's removable turf that right now is just concrete down there. What's crazy about this is the part that I didn't learn until they put this new turf in. I always thought that was concrete down there. No, that's asphalt. They brought a paver in here and paved this whole center structure in here in asphalt. So you basically got asphalt, you've got a rubber mat, and I'll show you that stuff over here. We'll go over here real quick. Put this on top of it. And then you basically put this, I think I can pull that up. This is the old turf. This is a demonstration of the old turf. The new turf is much thicker than this. It's more like what this is. You basically take this and you bring in sand and rubber, and you have a machine that just goes across, back and forth, and combs it in. And they dump the sand and rubber in there in alternating points. And basically that's how you get the density up there. We're looking for about a 70% density on that turf. That's the safest turf. You get any higher than that, then you start having injuries. And then you wonder, now you have a concert here, what do you do with that? Now you want to multi-use. You've got these armor decking, plastic armor decking here. This is basically what goes on this field. If you come to a concert and you wonder what you're walking on this. 10 by 10 takes about 2 guys to put it down. It takes about 6 hours to fill that whole field up before any concert. Now you talk about that roof. Basically, you talk about the old design was a much larger pillowy effect that did hold the Metrodome up. It was always had to have constant pressure to hold that thing up. That's why you wondered why you got blown out the doors. It's because of that, if you ever went into the old Metrodome. So you got a narrower path there, 300 foot long up there, and basically that's what's on the roof. Now this has been around for a while, so storage problems has caused issues. We're not concerned about this dipping and stuff in there. I mean, they got speds, but the thing is, you turn them on, you can turn them on, you can turn it back on again. The old systems were mercury high drive, where you turn it off, you had to wait a long time. But just imagine that being as big as it could be if you were playing basketball at your place. We'll come out, look at the door quick. They don't open up for concerts, they don't open for other events, they open up for football. And that's got to be decided 90 minutes before the game. But I will tell you this, we open up 2 hours before the game starts. This will be open before that. So 2.5 hours before the game if you want to watch it open. That's the thing, because people always say 90 minutes, but that's not true. It's probably 90 minutes before they come on the field, which is when they warm up and stuff. And what you've got is, you look at these doors, it goes from, the smallest door is 75 feet high. The largest door is 95. And you think about the basketball court, our smallest door is a little bit bigger than a basketball court. Our largest door is way heavier. But just think of the steel and the structures on these things. These are just dynamic doors, and and we are the only pivoting doors. Everybody else, when they designed this, they were at a loss. It was the company that designs the ones that go for NASA, that actually those are the retractable doors that go up. These are the largest pivoting doors ever made. The glass is from Owatonna, from a company down in Owatonna. I think it's Daktronics is the one that does that board up there. But Owatonna is where it's storm tanks. There's a drainage system down there, 4.5 foot tall system underneath the ground. It basically takes all the water from the roof of this building and takes care of that. But I'll bet you the parking lot, what that takes care of is just the main drains inside, all the storm sewer concerns inside the building and the parking lot. The original horn that did this, tough thing is finding all your pictures. Okay. So this is the horn that was original. That's what we used to blow all the time. This is the Blood Grant blew 3 times. That's the original horn. But here's what happens to this type of horn. It's basically plaster of Paris with chicken wire. You get to a 25 below wind chill, that's what happens. Basically, the horn just got destroyed with all the temperatures. So what happened? We came with this new stadium. That happened back in 2015. Stadium was put together in 2016, or finished in 2016. You basically have a horn that's supported by this pipe that actually has a hose going up to it. So you have basic compression that when that light lights up, that horn's going to go off. So they start the compressor, and that basically blows that horn and makes your sound. So it's a constant sound. It sounds the same every time. So that's the only rumor I'm going to dispel for you. And like I say, Bud Grant was the one that blew it the most times. Excuse me. Now, if you want to take a picture with you in there, if you this one, the better clubs, it's got the most stuff. It just stored in a track out there. It just sits there. So maybe it spills in there back. But you know what happened while I found out? Everybody told us it was raining somewhere. Somebody spilled water for shrimp. We started to really stuff. So they had to vacuum it out. So it's no longer do I say that much. And I used to pour water to show you because it's just pour water. Attainable floor. If you spill beer here, it goes down into the floor. But I've since learned something different. I'd always been told when I first started tours, I was told it was supposed to be a drainage system. That's not true. It's a trough down here. Basically what you got a trough. That's all it works. Or not the right high drainage. Again, we're losing our first game in the old Metropolitan Stadium to, I think it was Chicago. Let's see, it's right here. Yep, Chicago Bears. So what happened? They put a gentleman here. Mr. Fran Tarkinen came into the game late in the second half. Basically won the game for us. So that's who became our franchise quarterback for the longest time. But he wasn't the biggest winner. Joe Cap became the biggest winner with us for some time. Until he left, and then we brought Fran Tarkinen and he became our biggest winner. So if you look at this hallway, this is all basically hallway of artwork back here. We're one of the biggest artworks in a sports facility in the cities. I'm going to show you something. Here's a.
I think today it's free. For today it's open.
So now you're wondering, how does somebody get a free suite? You got a whole team. We have to provide a space for the opposing team. Now take a look at this. What's the significance of this? This is a movable frame system. This leaves and disappears. The next, let's say the Giants are in town. It's something different. It's always supposed to show some time, like I think this is a face mask called a fall, so that's why we have Green Bay grabbing at our helmet. So the facing always changes for the team that comes in. And you look at this space, you own a team, and you spend a lot of money for your team. Where are you at? You're in the end zone. You're on the sideline. Your team is right down here, but you're in the end zone there. It's not a great location to be. And we also put a lot of influence of Vikings in here. We add purple to everything, just to make them understand that it is our area. It's our house. We just don't want them putting in our house. Now you look at the structures above your head. That's Wi-Fi. And see the cabling that comes in there? That cabling goes throughout the whole building. If you look at those handrails down there, there is actually cabling for the Wi-Fi system that goes to those handrails. So we have Wi-Fi. Okay, here we've got something that is, I always like to point out. You take a look at this over here, and you see the horns on there. And you think it's the Vikings, there must have been a great word with these big horns on there. Okay, there's no truth to that we know. Back in the 1800s, the German playwright wanted in here. You wonder what you got up there. You know you can sign underneath the pipe? Yep. 33 miles of beer lines go through this building. What you've got is you've got all these tubes. These plastic tubes filled with beer that go down. You've got 9 different tap rooms in this building. And basically you're hauling the beer up, and that goes to the outside properties where you have the actual tap beer. That's on all the outside properties. I shouldn't say properties, but the outside our air. Back in 2009, we got this. Mr. Brett Favre was our quarterback. And more Keith moving over here. There's little Francis Hutchinson again. But I always like to show you a picture. We actually kind of put that up. Always show the two things, man. That we had there. Get it done for the artwork and work over the next day. Fox 9 has no excuse. There we start talking about the old days. Here it is. The Metrodome, you see the structure. You can see why it probably collapsed, because that's a lot of air. And there it is, the sleeve. You get down this way, here's the old Metrodome. Outside the United States. Yeah. A lot nicer than this, but this is a nice little spot. Opening day, Bud Grant and Chuck Foreman sat right here side by side. But this is kind of where they sit. I'd say the Vikings that don't have a lot of friendship with the new ownership, that's where they sit. They're in this area. Chuck Foreman will be up here. Anybody that you think of will be in this area. This is the closest you can get to them, but the problem is you can't get here with a regular seat. You have to be renting that. The central truss beam, the single truss beam we have here, this bar is so named because of the truss. Because we just didn't have any other name for it. Nobody wanted to sponsor it, so it's called the truss bar. You can basically, what I was saying is, who was asked about pricing? We don't pay 43. It's right there. But it just says, but then there's 267. Every song that he sang in 2007 Super Bowl. And that gentleman's name is Nicholas Sharif. Or Sharif. S-C-H-L-E-I-F. However, pronounce that in traffic rally. If you want a picture, go ahead. 8,800 dots to make that picture.